So let's have 3 questions. I need to know who these questioners are.
Okay, Augustine Mwanje is my name, and I would just like to thank all the panelists for sharing their experience, but I would like very briefly to hear from each one of them. If they had to do it all again, how long would it take them to get to their current level of success? Thank you.
My question is about the banking rates, because I was visiting some of the banks and looking at the mortgages, and I realized, Patrick, you talked about if you're doing a business that doesn't bring 2% on the loan, surely you shouldn't do the business, which is 24%. Is it a fair deal for somebody who would want to go into mortgages or even using OPM to go into business, say real estate? Because 24% is high compared to some other countries.
Okay, let's go this side.
Thank you so much. My name is Chris. I have one question for Mr. Sudiru Pereira. Long ago, there are some banks which needed 500,000 as the basic deposit on the banks. But now it's going down to 1,000. What do you think of people who have their land titles, maybe 200 million, and want a loan of 30 million, and ask them to save money which they don't earn? Mr. Abitate talked about inheriting capital. So if someone inherited a land title worth 200 million and wants a loan from Crane Bank worth 30 million, what procedures do you have to at least help such people? Because I believe in Uganda, there are a little bit many. And then another question goes to Mr. Abitate Patrick. You've talked about SACCOs. What advice can you give to someone who has registered a SACCO and has simply failed to reach the authority to help out? People have already registered, because it is like you register SACCOs, register SACCO of over 200 people, and then after registering a SACCO, it is the SACCO with the register of companies, you have nowhere to proceed again. What advice can you give to people like us? Thank you so much.
I'm called, I would request you to tell me why the president is not paying minimum wage for workers. Because investors come here, Indians come here, but why are they not strengthening the minimum wage issue?
My name is Frank Gashumba. First of all, I have to really thank Patrick Bitatura. I've known him for many years. One simple question for you. You've done it all. What keeps you being humble? Because I've seen Ugandans, when he gets $10,000, he can even knock you on the streets of Kampala. Another request to you, Patrick. You've mentioned the President Museveni's name here more than 20 times. And I've had an opportunity of visiting many schools in Uganda. But the syllabus we have in this country is destroying us. You find a young girl in senior 4 doing 16 useless subjects. You find a young girl who wants to be a lawyer and she's studying agriculture and technical drawing. My appeal to you, Patrick.
So, your question, please.
This is an appeal. Right. Patrick, when you happen to meet the president of Uganda, and I know you can talk to him, please tell him to amend the constitution of Uganda so that our kids do subjects that matter to them. Thank you.
Mr. Subiru, whereby you work in the Busoga region, do you have several programs for Busoga region? Mr. Select Government, what programs do you have for Busoga region? Mr. Vitatore and the like.
Thank you. Thank you. One last question there.
I'm only asking. Mr. Vitatore said that the first part is inheritance. What if you get the inheritance and then the parents deny you that inheritance? Legally, you're supposed to be given that inheritance because you're not a slave. Work for our parents. That's what I think, anyway.
Okay, so, thank you. Thank you so much. I think you have the question.
How do we handle it legally?
Yes, you have the question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's be fair to our panelists. So So let them answer these questions, and possibly we can have another session later in the year.
I think the first question was, how long will it take, or if we had to start again, can we do it?
How long would it take you to reach where you are?
Well, I think that's a very difficult question, but your inner feeling in yourself is not going to change. So it's a question of whatever you start now, when we started 20 years ago, but, at the end of the day, I feel, and I no disrespect to anybody, but there's some people are born to lead and others to follow. Not only in the human race, but also if you look at goats, sheep, all the animals have one leader, and others naturally follow them. So if you're good in the field you are in, and I think you will excel, and others will follow. It's up to you. It has to be something in yourself. Even if in a village, we have an elder. He was not there by birth or something, but people created the elder. So I think it has to be something within yourselves.
Yeah, there was a question still to you. I think it was about the land title. Somebody has a land title and he doesn't earn anything, but his title is worth something. How can he get a loan?
Now, I think, first of all, you asked about interest rates. Now, interest rates is not determined by a person. Market, I think the simple laws of demand and supply, simple economics. Now, why is interest rates so high? Is it affordable? No, it's not affordable if you want to borrow for mortgages. But mortgages are going around 15, 16%, not 22 or 24 as you're saying. Now, how does interest rates work? We have a stable market is maturing. It is not matured to the Kenyan level or London level. Everything is determined by the government spending. If the government has a budget and it goes over the budget, government has to go to central bank and ask the central bank to borrow money from the market, and the rate of the treasury bill is then determined. That is the deciding factor. No banks, although the banks technically give you the rates, but they follow the market also. They follow the market where they lend money. If Grand Bank is giving 13% on deposit, it has to charge you 18, 19, 20%. It has to have a cut. So it's all about demand and supply. Banks don't make up their own rates. They follow the market. Now, if you go to the market and there's a season for tomatoes, before the season started, you can even buy tomatoes for 2,000 shillings a kilogram. Now, when everybody's harvest comes in, you can even buy for 400 shillings. It's all simple economics, demand and supply.
I'll try to go quickly through all the questions. I keep saying that, but I get stuck and spend too long. How long will it take for us to make the wealth we have generated? I think it will take half the time. Why? Because we're going to make mistakes again. I began doing business when I was 13. So it's taken me almost 30 years or 40 years doing business. If I started again from scratch, I would make, I think, much more money, but I've learned so much now. But I think I will also still make mistakes because we're all human beings. We will make mistakes. You don't think you're bulletproof. Today, I make mistakes in business with all my experience, and I try to make it my business to learn so many businesses. But you still make mistakes. Interest rates. Somebody talked about the interest rate and thought that it's a bit high and how we can use it as a benchmark. If you can't make the money that you pay the bank, then don't do the business. I use that as a hurdle rate. Any business you're going to do, if it doesn't make 25% return for you per annum, to me, I'll not even consider it. The bank rate. Give you a quick example. When I began a microfinance, CMF, I went to Owino and I got into this business. We wanted to lend a woman money to do chapati business. A person who makes chapati needs a sigiri, charcoal, flour, cooking oil. A few basic things. Total working capital, 300,000 shillings. With that working capital, every day you make chapati is worth 20,000 shillings as cost. But you sell chapatis for 40,000 shillings. You're making 50% per day in profit. It's you working. If you employ a few people, you have overheads. The margin comes down, but the turnover goes up. Percentage per day. If you work for 5 days, if you're in Chikubo, serving chimere, your matoke and everything, the costing is 1,000 shillings. 1,500 shillings. You sell it for 3,000. You're making 50% per day. If you compound that over the year, your percentage is a few 100%. If you make 2% per day, I sell airtime. No secret. I get a discount from MTN, which used to be 10%. But I have to give so many people along the way margins who sell for me. I have overheads. If I am lucky, I keep 2% or 1.5%. But I do that per day. And then it's amount how much I can sell per day. So in 365 days, I make at least 1% per day. That's over 300%. And that's where the magic is. And it's not rocket science. All of you have understood it now. It's not a secret. I said the times tables, the maths you need is the primary maths. In primary school, by P7, you can work out your percentage and you know your times tables. That's all you need. Everything else is superfluous. SACCOs. Somebody talked about SACCOs. And it's organized but can't reach the government. The whole idea of SACCOs is to help you to put your money together so that you are stronger as a unit. If the government comes, that's a bonus. But don't be dependent, completely dependent. If the government doesn't give you money, you cannot survive. When we began CMF, we were a group of 14 different individuals from different backgrounds. We built a SACCO from zero to being worth over $20 million. I recently sold and got out. It was bought by a bank. It's very hard when you're running all these things. You can make a lot of money or you can lose a lot of money. I chose to get out for personal reasons, but the bank is now running. Everyone will think, oh, let's make a bank. It's fantastic to make money in a bank. Not easy. You can also lose a lot of money. That's why there are risks in every business. But don't be dependent on the government. The government may come. If it comes, it's a bonus.